I woke up with a migraine today, which took me totally out of commission for like 6 hours. And when I was convalescing, I had a memory of when I was sick as a kid, I would listen to 2 books on tape because I was too sick to hold up the book or to read. So I had the Harry Potter books on tape, narrated by Jim Dale, and I had the audiobook cast version of The Golden Compass by Philip Pullman. And actually yesterday I was listening to a podcast about the Golden Compass, this awesome show called Pairing, where my friend Emma Scherzarko talks about a different like pop culture property, whether that's a book or a TV show or a movie franchise, and talks about wine and pairs a wine with it and then kind of makes parallels between the winemaking world and the world of this fiction, which is an amazing concept, and she is so smart, and I love the podcast. That's probably why I was primed to remember listening to The Golden Compass as a kid. And it's one of those really wonderful audiobooks that is cast, so there's like multiple speakers, different actors, and it really sounds like listening to a play. It's a really great version of that book. But as I was listening, I remembered or I guess realized for the first time one of the reasons that that book meant so much to me when I was little. Which is, so in The Golden Compass, there is this idea of daemons, or demons. And they're almost like a Patronus in Harry Potter, where it's like an animal that kind of represents something about you. But it is the opposite to you. So, gender binary alert, but if you're female, your daemon is male. If you're male, your daemon is female. If you're, reserved, your daemon's outgoing, and vice versa. They kind of show a side of you that, it's like a yin and yang. And the sort of, amazing thing about it is it's not 2 different people. It's not like you and then like a creature that complements you. It's your soul, but in 2 bodies. And the realization I came to was that I think I loved that concept so much. Not only because I'm allergic to all things, and so the idea of having, a pet with you at all times that everyone has was really appealing to me, but because as a kid I was so overwhelmed by my own emotions. I felt like paralyzed with the weight of my thoughts and my inner world. And yet I felt an immense pressure to not show it. And probably a lot of that I put on myself, but I really just never felt comfortable to be anything less than, okay. And so the idea of having some part of me that was external to what I thought of as myself, and that was visible, that was insistent, that couldn't be, shoved away or made quiet, having a reason to show the fullness of myself and all of my feelings at a given time, I think was just really intoxicating. The book also takes place in the hallowed halls of like an Oxbridge type school, I think in Oxford actually. And I was always so enamored with that idea of like an old school, medieval looking university. And the idea of being raised by dons there was really lovely. I love my parents, my family's great, don't get me wrong. But the idea of being raised in a university was like, oh, can I just do that? Can I just fast forward to then? So anyway, it got me thinking about the books that I loved as a kid and what those kind of loyalties might say about me then or me now. Another one was the Wizard War series by Diane, Duane. I came across the first book in a library upstate where my grandparents live, and the character in the book stumbles across a book at a library, and it teaches her wizardry. And so I found so much solace, and belonging in libraries and bookstores. So the idea that like any one of those books doesn't just have a story that, unlocks a new world or a metaphor that helps you understand life better, but like a literal guide to magic. Oh, it was amazing. The Pendragon series by DJ MacHale has a similar concept where a normal everyday boy falls into an adventure, I think literally, or Wrinkle in Time, kind of all these stories where unassuming kid who is capable of more than their circumstances require are suddenly put on the stage where more is needed of them. And I think I wished for that kind of adventure. I felt very unchallenged by my surroundings. and I wished for the opportunity to prove myself. Narnia sees kids go from one crisis into another, but this fantasy crisis, at least they have control over. There's just so many ways in which the books that were my best friends as a kid, because I was not very social, but I loved books so much. And I guess it's fun to look at what books meant a lot to me and why. And to kind of, I don't know, understand myself through retrospect in that way. Anyway, if you haven't read The Golden Compass, you should. If you haven't read Sabriel by Garth Nix, that was my like adolescent, touchstone, you definitely should. I've actually never read Tamara Pierce, so I think I might edit this video and then go give her a try. I've been carrying around The Trickster's Choice since I was like 11, but never got the chance to read it. So I'm super curious what the books were as a kid for you that really made an impact and why you think that was. I hope those of you in the Northeast are staying warm and dry in this nor'easter, and I'll be seeing you for our last One Take Sunday of this VEDO, of VEDO 2018, tomorrow.